EP03 is supported by Timber King Sawmills. For more information on my 1220 CRZ mill, or one of many Foley hydraulic options, go to timberking.com. Got a bunch of beams to cut up today, but I think I've got to make one improvement first, I think. My offcut slabs I've just been stacking to the side, and the last batch I cut into smaller pieces for the fire pit, but I can't keep doing that all the time in this orientation because that just gets sloppy everywhere. So I think it would make more sense to take two really long logs and put them this way, and then just use the tractor to move the smaller pile into a much larger stacking zone off the ground, easily grabbed by the tractor, and I can move them as needed. When I was throwing them on the ground over there, that was convenient, but it was just messy and really annoying to pick them up with the tractor and move them and all that, and obviously that's not the best solution. So I think just staging these to the side will allow me to keep them organized and tidy while I build a caddy of some kind or a trough of some kind to put them in, and keep them nice and organized as I cut them into smaller sections to use elsewhere. I'm not going to do that today, but I think I'm going to put the logs down today. And if I'm not mistaken, there's 4 really long logs over here. All 4 of these are over 20 feet in length, so I think I can get 2 of the smaller diameter ones to check this box really quick. Yep. These 2 middle ones, smallest diameter. I should be able to move them over there. 7:08 this morning, and the sun is just peeking out behind me, starting to get some color going on here. Green from the pines, yellow from the sweet gum, and I think that's a sweet gum as well, just red. Got some colors over here. I'm really glad we took these down so we can start to see these colors. Fall colors are about to explode. What's going on up there? And whack me with it. All right, so last night I was out here till about 8 o'clock and got a lot done. I have a tremendous amount of weight on these sawhorses. This is all 12 footers. I don't have a 12-foot pallet super handy. I've got one that's not being used, but it's not super handy. So this is all the offcuts. About half of this, probably not even half to be honest with you, probably a third of this is straight line ripped on both sides. The rest of it, you know, it's got at least one edge of wane that needs to be trimmed up. As I was stacking this yesterday, pulling off for those beams that are over there, I was thinking, you know what, I don't really have a need for 12-foot stuff. I can get 3 stickers per length minimum, probably even 4. Actually 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I can probably get 4 stickers per length on these because they're 12.5, 13-foot long logs. So I set this all up here for stickers, but the more I think about it, and I'm like, you know, there's nothing wrong with this board. This is a 12-foot long 1x12, so or 1x10. So I think I should actually just keep these and stick them out in the yard somewhere to dry. So I think that's what I'm going to start with in just a little bit. Getting in the habit of taking these offcuts, these first cuts, and setting them over here right after I put a log on or right before I put a log on has been handy. That's really nice to get that out of the way, and I can deal with that at my convenience. Yep, that's what I thought. The 12-foot pallet is buried. We got one 12-footer started up there with 2x material, but I can just take all this top stuff off and get to that 12-foot one that's got the yellow spray paint on it. All right, that's what I'll do. Play a little bit more of the rearranging game this morning. Copious amounts of sawdust are actually helping me out right here because we had some erosion problems, and this has built up quite a bit, and the tractor can drive on it no problem in the water. So sawdust is my friend right now. I also need to, once again, swap out the loader implement to get the pallet forks on here so I can do a little rearranging for that bunk right there. Before we begin today's physical work, this video is supported by Brunt. About a month ago, I got my feet in a pair of, these are slip-on so they're easy to do, a pair of work boots by Brunt. These are the Bulldog boots. You can get them in waterproof, with or without waterproofing. These are the waterproof variety. You can get them in steel toe, composite toe, soft toe. These are soft toe. And this is my go-to daily driver for out in the mucky muck that is a forest of Mississippi. The soles are super soft, like surprisingly soft, really soft. That was my biggest first impression is, whoa, these are really soft when you stand on them. I have a really wide foot, so there is an insert in here, a secondary insert that you can remove to make these boots accommodate wider feet quite well. That's really nice. The soles are slip resistant and heat resistant up to 575 degrees. They're really comfortable, and they're priced accordingly. If you want to try these, Brunt says try them on the job site, and if you don't like them, send them back. That's a pretty darn cool policy that they have that, I'll tell you what, a lot of companies don't have that. But if you're interested in trying these out, I have a link and a coupon code you can use to save you a little bit of money. Check them out. Thank you to Brunt for sponsoring this video. Now I'm going to try and not stand in the sawdust here and put this back on and actually get back to work. No sawdust on the socks. That was a success. stickers.
Stickers! Yay, I like stickers because I get to play with them. I already have my own sticker.
So I was wrong. I thought I had a 12-foot pallet. I don't. I only have 10-foot pallets. Knowing me, I probably cut the 12-foot pallet into a smaller pallet. I don't know. I did something, but I don't have the 12-foot pallet anymore. Anyway, so all of these boards are actually convenient to cut down. So that's what I did. I cut them down to a 10-foot pallet size with each layer. And I think that's actually better anyway, because a lot of the stuff that I cut off was the small sections that had a little bit of wane on it. Like right there and there's got some wane on it. And these are all not the best quality. You know, these have been sitting for quite a while. And I use these for beam stock, getting the centers out of them for beams, right? So the outside, not the best. And also, there's a bunch of bug holes in here, and I pulled a few pieces of larva out. So this stuff is not for interior house use, I would say. I'd still put this up in my shop. So rustic pine for shop walls, I think it'll be plenty good enough for that. That means all of this stuff that I have left has too much wane on it to sticker stack as it is. So I'm going to put all this stuff back on the mill, and we'll get this stuff cut down to stack again.